guys, and welcome to Knit, and today we're going to go over how to make the super adorable, super cunning baby Groot. He's super cute. He can't really stand up on his own weight, which is why I've got a little doll maker thing attached to his head, keeping him standing upright. But he's really adorable, and I love how he turned out. I love the hair, which is super adorable. We have a pattern PDF for this right on our Ravelry page, linked down below. You can click right there in our description box to find it. It's right on Ravelry. Be sure to share with us your Ravelry whenever you get your project done. We love seeing finished products. And also stay tuned for the end of the video where we're going to be announcing our giveaway for our baby Groot. Alright, let's get started. For this project you will need, I'm using only like probably about 1/4 of a skein of Red Heart in this tan color. I'm using very little of a skein of I Love This yarn by Hobby Lobby, and I'm also using very little of this, probably about 25 to 40 yards of this brown yarn. This is actually Red Heart Soft. I would use Vanna's Choice or Red Heart Normal just to go with the same texture, but this works and this is what I had on hand. I'm also using a little bit of green Vanna's Choice for the leaves part. You're also going to need a size J or a 6mm crochet hook, and you're going to need a little bit of polyfill. Alright, let's get started. Oh, you're also going to need safety eyes. I always forget about those. But you're going to need some safety eyes, and I'm going to show you how to attach those later. Alright, let's get started. So to start, we're going to work on our main headpiece first. And what I like to do is I like to use my size J hook and make a slip knot. Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit longer because I like making a long tail that I can work along with it. And I'm using my tan yarn, worsted weight, and I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, skip my second chain here, and go into my first one and place 6 single crochet on the inside of it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you'll notice there's a giant hole here. That's fine. Pull on your tail and it cinches right up. That's the awesome part of this magical ring. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on making 6 stitches, extra stitches each round until we get to 30 stitches. So here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches right here, and I'm going to increase every single one until I'm at 12. Then I'm going to do every other until I'm at 18. Every third I do an increase, so I'm at 24, and then every fourth I do an increase until I'm at 30. So to show you what an increase looks like, I basically go into my stitch here, I work 1, so this is 1, then I go back into the stitch and do a second single crochet, and I do that the entire way around. So I'll show you that again. I'm in the stitch, I single crochet 1, I go back into the same stitch here, and then I do 2. Do that all the way around until I have 12, and then I again increase every other, every third, every fourth, and then every fifth. And if you ever get confused about my pattern at any point in time, I have a PDF right down in Ravelry, right down in the description, that you can download, free PDF. It actually is pretty clean looking now, and I'm pretty excited about that. And also, if you have a Ravelry account, post what you post, whatever you make, and I love seeing what people make out of the patterns on Ravelry. So there'll be a PDF right on Ravelry, instant download. It should be wicked easy, wicked quick. I don't even think you necessarily, don't quote me on this, I don't know if you need a Ravelry account to download anymore. You used to, but then I recently tried to download something and I wasn't logged in, and I'm pretty sure I was able to do it. So either way, Ravelry is great. I have almost 200 patterns on there, and I'm currently at 12 stitches, so I'm going to do just 1 here and then 2 here, 1, 2, and then every third, fourth, and fifth. So check out Ravelry if you ever get confused about where we are in the pattern. And when I'm done with all my increases, then I'm just going to single crochet around for 8 rounds, and I'll show you what that looks like once I'm done. Be right back. So we just finished our 8th round around, And by the way, I was mistaken. You stop increasing at the 6th mark. I'll have an annotation before, so hopefully you'll have noticed that before, but I did go around so that there's 36 stitches. So now we're working on the top part of our Groot head. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip one stitch and go into the next and slip stitch into it because it makes it a bit more seamless. And here's where it gets a little wonky and weird. I'm going to chain anywhere between 3 and 8 randomly all across the entire thing. So here I'm gonna chain 8 to, well, 7, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to skip, this is all making the little head pieces, skip the first chain and then just single crochet into the next. Don't lose my stitches like I do all the time. 1, 2, because I skipped, should only come out to like 5, 3, no 6, my bad, because I did 7. 5 and 6. So I worked back into those chains there and made them into that. And now I'm going to skip into the next stitch and slip stitch into it and repeat all the way around, anywhere between 3 and 8. Just do it randomly. You can have 2 3s next to each other, you can have 2 8s next to each other. Honestly, just try to make it as random and not as organized as possible. So here I'm gonna do 4, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna go back, skipping my first chain from the hook, going 1, and because I skipped the first one, it's only gonna end up being 2. It's only gonna end up being 3 single crochets. So now I'm gonna go into the tighter slip stitchy one there, and now I go into, this is the one that I slip stitched into, here's where I'm gonna go into next. And I'm gonna do that all the way across the entire way. And I will slip stitch into here, and I'll show you how we close up the top of the head, which is just super easy. And I work through only the first stitch, you'll notice, so that on the very back it's easier to back post single crochet. You can still back post single crochet if you've been doing it through both, like instead of just going through the first one like this, you go through both of them, both of the V's right here. I like to just go through the first one because it makes it so that there's a much more defined line of where you can pick up stitches on the back here when you back post single crochet. So we're gonna get this done, and then I'm gonna show you how to back post single crochet this shut, and I will be right back. So I've gone along the entire way just doing random between 3 and 8 chains, and then single crocheting those chains all the way back to the center, and then I would chain right back. So here I'm right at my beginning here. I'm going to put a slip stitch into my work, and then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to flip my stuff. So when I back post single crochet, I find the first one that I can see, and then I go into both of them just initially so that I can smooth out whatever the edge was, and I will slip through and just single crochet it. And then I will single crochet like usual, just going through the back stitch of row 13. So the row before you started doing this all craziness is the row that you're going to want to go into. So you'll see that all these rows have little rows on the behind of it. All these rows have little rows on the backs of them too. So here I'm going to start doing decreases and crown my head like so. I've made more than one Groot, so here I'm going to single crochet around 4 times and then single crochet 5 and 6 together, because remember I didn't do just 30 stitches, I did 36. I did an extra increase round. I forgot about that round and I made a mistake in my video, but there's a little thing that'll correct it, so hopefully you know that at this point and didn't just continue to do 30. Either way, it'll come out cute. You just gotta, it'll come out a little bit narrower. It's fine. So you're gonna single crochet 4. So I did 1, 2 already, 3, 4, and now I'm gonna go into my 5th one, pull through, and then go into my 6th one and pull through that. I'm gonna go around until all of them are picked up, and then I'm going to go and do the inverse of my increases, which is single crochet 3, decrease, single crochet The next round, single crochet 2, decrease, so single crochet your third and your fourth stitch together, and then continue until you're down to like every single stitch you're decreasing, and then it closes up. Keeping in mind that I stuff at around the single crochet 2 decrease part. Also, at this point, when it's still open is when I take my eyes, these two guys right here, and I put them and attach them to the head. So I like to put them and attach on the inside because these are safety eyes, so they're not going to come popping off. You put it through the fabric on the front, and then you take one of these guys. So you take this part, you figure out where you want your eye to be. It's going to be around here. You kind of screw it in. That's what I do. And then you notice on the back side, it pops up. So here you can take this and press it forward. I think I just put it on the wrong way, but there it is. No, I got it on the right way. And I like to push it as hard as I can, and then it's attached, and I stuff while doing my crowning part here. So once I get both eyes attached where I want them, I will continue to do this. So I'll be right back once our Groot head is all finished off. Be right back. So here we're going to work on the potted plant portion, aka like the body part of the baby Groot. And here I've already made the 6 single crochet magical ring, and then I increased every single one, every other, every third, every fourth, every fifth, every sixth, and then every 7th. So I got it all the way up to increasing, basically putting in an 8th stitch in each one of these. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 increase. And here it's gonna get a little wonky. So before, remember how I said that I work in only the first stitch of my work here? I'm going to do a quick slip stitch and kind of chain 1. And now I'm gonna go through the backmost stitch of every single stitch along this way. So I'm making a line is essentially what I'm doing. So here, instead of going through the front stitch, I'm gonna go through the back stitch just for this round. And I'm gonna do that all the way around. And then I'm gonna go back to normal. So see here, see that line? That makes a cute little, let me see if I can find it. There it is. Nice little lined ridge for the very bottom of the potted Groot part. It kind of like shows you where the bottom is completely done. And then you're gonna go back to going through the front stitches and single crochet around for 10 rounds. So here I'm gonna continue going through just the back loop until I get to the end. And then I'm gonna go back to going through the front for 10 rounds. And once that's done, then I'll show you how to work the soil part of the baby Groot with some brown yarn. When you get done with that, you're just gonna go back into the front stitch and go around 10 times. So that's not including this stitch. You go around 10 more times, and then I will show you, you're gonna slip stitch off, and I'll show you how to do that when we get there. All right, be right back. Okay, so now that you've got your 10 rounds done, I did a quick little slip stitch off, and then I tucked in my tail to hide. Now starting really anywhere, but I like to start right here at the beginning. I like to take the first stitch and then go into the next here. I'm going to back post single crochet through the back loops. I do this just for the first stitch here because I like to line it up and make it look like completely even. You're then going to take your brown yarn. I'm pretty sure this is Red Heart Soft, but I would have rather have used Havana's Choice color. I kind of like the texture of this brown, but other than that, I probably would have gone just to make sure that all of my yarns are the same with a Havana's Choice, just because that's what all the rest of my yarns really pretty much are. I'm going to then start single crocheting through the back loops, And from here, I'm going to single crochet 6 and then single crochet 2, and I'm going to continue to decrease so that I can get my body shape. So here, I'm going to do the chain 1, but then I'm going to go back into the same spot and I'm going to single crochet 1, 2, and I'm going through the back loops here. So it might be easier for some if you just fold over that first round to expose that stitch. So if you do it this way, it makes it a lot easier to see those back stitch marks right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the way that I single crochet 2 together is I take these next 2 stitches and I go into the first one, single crochet, but I don't loop around for the last time. And then, hold on, my yarn's getting stuck. I go into the next stitch and I single crochet, and now I've got 3 loops on my hook, and I'm going to single crochet. I'm going to take my yarn and go right through it and basically single crochet through both of those 3 loops. And I'm going to continue to do that all the way around until I get to the back beginning, and then I'm going to start working in my first single crochet. I just chained to make it so that the height would work out there, and that it's basically a nice way to attach my yarn right there. I like to also take my tail right here, and I sometimes stitch it through the back loops, or I'll stitch it through the front loops this way, depending on how I feel. Usually I try to go through the brown instead of the white, just because the white might show through with brown yarn. That's for the future though. Next, I'm going to single crochet 5, single crochet 2 together, single crochet 4, single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet 3, single crochet 2 together. I'm going to continue working in that pattern until I get down to, basically this is my first rendition. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of decreases, and then I'm going to change over and just straight up single crochet around for about 2.5 inches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds right here. You're going to, with the other yarn. Then you slip stitch off, and then you're done. So I will show you how I reattach once I do that. So that's where we're going. I will come right back once it's time to go over onto our body part here. And then we're gonna go onto the arms. So I will be right back. Okay, so I finished my decreasing rounds, and I forgot to mention that instead of stopping at single crochet 3, single crochet 2 together, you single crochet another round of single crochet 2, and then you do your single crochet 2 together. So there's 5 rounds of decreasing in here. And I stuffed, making this all full. I like to stuff before I add onto my tan yarn. Here I'm going to single crochet around just all 18 stitches for 10 rounds, and then I'm going to slip stitch off. So here I did a quick little slip stitch, made it all nice so that it can be a nice even round. I'm going to take my yarn, if I can actually get a hold of it, and feed it through. I'm also going to do a quick little chain, then I'm going back in the same stitch, and I'm going to start my single crocheting around. And here I'm continuing to go through just the first stitch. And I'm going to continue just to single crochet around all the way around until I reattach here, 18 stitches for 10 rounds. That is making my body, and then next up I'm going to show you how to do the little thumbed hands. Be right back. Okay, so now I've stuffed my entire part here where I've done my 10 rounds. I've stuffed it, and here I'm going to sew a nice long tail to the head that I made earlier, like so. I'm going to try to make it lean more towards the back than the front, honestly, just because I think it'll make it so that if I want to put a mouth on here, it'll look cuter. And I'm just going to sew it all the way along. I like to go around twice, darning my yarn through the stitches all the way along. I think it makes it a bit smoother. And when I get that done, we will start working on the arms. Be right back. So now we're moving on to the hands, and the hands are pretty simple, but they're kind of tricky in some random ways. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your tan yarn that you used for the base of the head and the body, and you're going to make yourself a magical knot, magical ring, excuse me, and I'm not going to make such a long string, and you're going to want to make your magic ring. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and then I'm going to go back and work into 7 stitches into that magic ring. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And don't worry, I'm going to pull, and there it is. It's all tight together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm going to single crochet around for 2 rounds. So that's 1. It's a little tricky for the first one because you end up being like, okay, well, this is really small. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now you're gonna go again. I like to pop this kind of outward. You'll notice that it kind of starts opening, but as long as you keep pulling that tail, it will be fine. So here I'm gonna go back into that stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so I just did 2 rounds. I'm gonna move this over here. There we go. And now we're going to do a single crochet cluster, a nice little popcorn. So the way that we do this is when we're making the thumb, we're gonna go through both of the stitches instead of just the front ones. 1, 5 times. Same stitch, 2, same stitch, 3, same stitch, 4, and same stitch, 5. So I just put 5 single crochet all within the same stitch on our row 3, the very first stitch. Now you're going to count back the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to go inside of your first single crochet, put your original little loop back on there, and you're going to slip stitch through. That creates this nice little thumb knobbin, and I like to chain 1, and then you're going to single crochet around for 2 inches. So for me that was about 7 to 8 rounds depending on how you stuff and how you do things. So here I like to stuff after this 1 round. I'm also not putting my tail through because my tail is kind of pointless at this point. Your thumb kind of acts as where your rounds start again. 2, 3, we're just single crocheting around. 4, 5, 6, and now that chain that starts our round again, we're going to go right into that chain stitch right there. It's a little tricky, but we can do it. And we're going to single crochet 1 into that. So now we've got 7 again. We're no longer wonky, and we're going to keep going around until we get it to this length basically. Then I'm going to show you how we attach them and how I made these cute little leaves to go along with parts of Groot's body. Once I'm done with that, actually I'm going to show you how I stuff. The way I stuff this, because it's so thin, it's really hard to even get like a finger in it once you get past the thumb part. So what I do is I take some of my polyfill. Here, let me get a little bit. I have to get a little bit of my polyfill. I roll it in my hands until it's nice and tight in a ball. So there, I've got a nice little ball here. I take my thing, I make a nice big loop. I'm using the butt end. Actually, this is too much. Here, I'm gonna ball again. So there, it's a little bit smaller now. I'm gonna take this, kind of push it in as much as I can. I'm gonna take this, put the butt end of it, and kind of like push it in so it doesn't stretch it so much. Keep going around and around and around until it is the length that you want the arm. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 to 8 rounds to get it the length that you want, so 2 inches, and then I will show you where we attach them on the body, and then I'll show you how to do the leaves, and then that's pretty much it. Alright, be right back. So for my Groot, when I got my arms done, I just attached them to the sides and tried to make it so that the thumb was pointing upward. Next, I made a bunch of little leaves along the base that I could attach. I made 5, so I put 1 along the base here, trying not to put it too, like try to look like it's growing out of the dirt. And I put one along each thumb, and I put some along his hairline. You could probably add more or less depending on what you like, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So, and yes, I've made multiple Groots at this point, like so many Groots. I'm going to find my tail. Here we go. I made my slip knot, turned it into a magical ring. So I did 1 and I did 2. So I've chained 2. Now I'm going to single crochet 1 inside of the second chain from the hook, and then I slip stitch off. That's literally all there is to it. I actually go through the top knot here if I do it loose enough, or I just am lazy and just do this where I slip knot it off. And then I take this, I do a little slip stitch, cut, and I use it to both ends. Honestly, I use both ends to sew. And I take my tail here, and now you've got this cute little leaf looking thing that you can put along anywhere on the body. I might actually attach it like somewhere along the inner head area just as a nice little touch, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So that's really all there is to it. The body doesn't really stand up by itself. I didn't put any like doll wiring in it, so it will collapse with its head. I just kind of have it standing up places, and I might put doll wiring in the next one that I do. I might also put some doll wiring in the arms so that it can like, he can move his arms and stuff. Another thing that I had an idea for would be how cute it would be if you got one of those Build-A-Bear sound makers, and you get ones that actually like make sounds that you want to have them make sounds. You can pre-program it for that, and it just says "I am Groot" in it. I thought that would be really funny, but I didn't want to pay the $8 to get one of those, because they priced one out for where I am in my area, and that's how much it would be, and I didn't want to do that. On a side note, we are also doing a giveaway for this video, and for this Groot, so if you want to be enrolled in that, just hit like and subscribe to our channel, comment down below, and you'll be put right in the running for the baby Groot. The giveaway is going to be going for a week, and at the end of that week, I will post a video saying who our winner is, and I will mail it right out as soon as I get confirmation from the person and their address. So, alright, hit like and subscribe, be put in the giveaway. Yeah, until next time guys, bye!